day, lovely people. Your mama kwaba about Supreme Law Publications, everyday lawyer de Bremo. Your church Ghana Bremo city. War with Debiana Montu, your work, your business, your relationships. What does the law say? Said that you know how to act. When you subscribe to your channel, but when this always subscribe to Supreme Law Publications, just click on the subscribe no. Also like it, na comment it. What you say? Oh, I drink chiribia. Oh, na mfobi subi wo baby. Wait me share ma obi bia. Na obi so Kevin na yi na yede yesuan de eniema ye ken enchechere. It's for educational purposes. It does not take away your right to be to consult a lawyer of your choice for further direction and advice. Dem say chen say se bichire wa adwen apart from the mekan ya wo ho kwan so busa lawyer ni mo koso chichi mu no wo hu anamo a obetu ye nhwe de na ebisua ye go. Okay, so welcome again. In this episode, what are we going to discuss? We are going to talk about employer-employee relations. Who takes the blame? Okay, what are we actually referring to? You know, there's a thing. Have you had a situation? Or like you have a shop. Okay, you have a shop and there's an attendant there. Okay, now this attendant, he's the one who does transactions with other people outside. Maybe you are not there. Maybe you sell some product. So when people come, all they keep you records. Then he basically is the one who mans the shop. So you are probably at the other branch or your head office or whatever. And all those kind of transactions. Then eventually it came to light that somebody had paid some money to him for some goods. He didn't supply the goods. What you saying? So the person now comes and says that he's taking the money from you, the boss, or just cannot free. What happens? Do you have to go after the shop attendant, take the money from him, or you are the person who's supposed to pay? This is what I mean by an employer and employee situation. Who takes the blame? In law, your first identity vicarious liability. The vicarious liability means that your employer and our employee or no employee now ko ya adia ma asema ba ho. Enti asem na ba ho no wo na this blame there that's the law. We call that vicarious liability, okay? So the employee has done something, and by virtue of the fact that he was under your employment, you are the one who has to bear the brunt of his actions. We call that in law vicarious liability. I want to explain. It's very, 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 very crucial. So you can also have a case of maybe a driver situation, a driver and a car owner. Let's say the car will be driver, so non-driver. So he drives around and he does business and all that. At the end of the day, he comes and makes sales to you. And or the car or he's been involved in some situation like that. Maybe he ran the car, he's run into someone's car or something like that. Who is going to be responsible for that damages that happened? Is it he, the driver, or you yourself? Okay, if the person who is affected decides to come after you, the car owner, that is the law. He is vicariously holding you liable because you are his employee. All right, so this and those many situations, and there are two things that we need to understand. Under what circumstance? Tibia be mu na obe hun say obi oye employee or akoya ade oye na asemaba until we should hold the employer responsible. Two. Number one, and then they say there has to be an employer-employee relation. An employer-employee relation. It does not necessarily mean that an employer-employee relation is where we be a business in our office. That is not just what it means. It also extends to where there is a master-servant relation. Because we makola no wakola. If you say wakola in the context of say he takes instructions from you, una ochena dia o ye na wujitum so ye wakola. Or you are the one who is going to bear the responsibility of that. That is what we mean by a master-servant relation. So anybody who is subject to your general command or effective control, he's your servant. Again, your effective control is your servant. As to the manner in which he has to do his work, he is your servant. The second point is whether what he did was in the course of his employment. So if it is that, na could create a problem there. A whole house, no employer and no master no. You understand that? So what catch a driver be say be school. You have a school, okay? So there's a bus driver who always go and picks the kids. And all driver car. So in the course of say probably he crashed the car somewhere and some of the kids got injured. If the parents of those kids come to the school, you can't say that, oh, the driver is careless. We don't know why he did that. No. So what happened was in the course of his employment. That is what we want to mention about vicarious liability and the position of the law. It is very important. What it therefore means is that, Mr. Amo, if Ophobia Juma, I was so with me China there also, very, very important. In a formal organization, what we call job description. Some people can, he will never give him a job description. And also, the character man, you need to give him a job description that tells him, that specifies the role that he has to do, what he should do, the time he should report to work, and everything that is related to the business and the jumano or his role. You have to let him know. If you don't have that documentary evidence, at least invite him and let him know. Anything that is in excess of this, make sure you take further direction from your supervisor. Make sure you take further direction from your boss. If you don't give him a job description, now in the course of what he's doing, out of negligence, or you, the employer, you'll be held liable. That is the position of the law. And a friend vicarious liability in law. No? So we need to be careful. We need to be careful going forward in the way we deal with things. And I also say, you also need to demand that. Send a bear or Chinabi tomorrow, a matter will not arise. Near catch us Obi one man yet like or so a mobile money agent, a Momo agent or something like that. Ne boss say, oh, Obi send there where this car or something like Bibisa. After say boss and say, oh, scanner there, and it has created so many problems in Ghana. I baby as a nippon into me and a bush far bad, then the family they are begging for him. But the question is that when the person picked you up or far away Jumano, and she sharing saying, Sika Bejino, where are you supposed to keep the money? You see, all those things that has got to do with the employment, you have to know. And so if someone takes you into a job, please, my brother, my sister, my uncle, you should be sure. If a problem arises, we will know where exactly we have to what? Put the responsibility. So generally, that is what we mean by vicarious liability. Say, ubia or your employee or a servant of a master, because of the actions that he has done, the master will be held liable. But let me hasten to add, it does not necessarily mean that, or no, when you, no, he could also be held responsible, but master cannot absolve himself. Oh, I did see let's go after him. No, you, the employer, you go after it. So if you are dealing with people, they are suppliers, or who company car, now or they misbehave, you can take the master on. It stretches even into public workers, police near wire were there, soldier near wire were there, any government official who does something, because the master is the government. The law can allow you to take the government on. So if a soldier slaps you, a police slaps you, or handles you, and you have an issue, apart from tackling the soldier directly, or the police officer, or that particular public servant directly, you can also extend the liability to the government agency for whom that person is working for. They will also be held vicariously liable. Why? Because they are his employers. Hope you understand that. So let's be guided. Okay, I mentioned job description. For Juma, men check what Juma Neniso. They also ye and they also ye. Also, for Juma, explain to him. Onye say, money you say, they are bros on the control. If you don't do that and the problem comes, you, the employer, will be held liable. Have a blessed day.